9 Live. I'm your radio gun, Jack Blood, as always, here. About 10 years now for this radio program. And, well, we do what comes natural. That song is called Be Yourself by my homeboy up in there. And it's true, you know, and that's all we're doing is being ourselves. I got a lot of letters for our guests today, and I might read some of those. But here's a letter that came in during the show for me today, and I think it kind of explains the Truther Girls in a way, too. I got this. I'm not going to mention the name. Thank you for sending it. You'll know who you are. Great article and point. They're referring to my article of Palin the Wrecker, the Tea Party is dead. She says, great article and point. Still think you're a nutcase, but then again, quite a few people think I am too. That's what makes this country great, the world great, I'll add. And the ability to talk about what we want, and if people don't like it, they don't have to listen. She says she's been protesting taxes for years. Where were the people the last 8 years, the last 15 years? I'll add the last 100 years. Thank you very much for that pace. And here's people that identify with us, Sonia. Sonia is with the Truther Girls because, you know, we don't sound orthodox. We're not following a set commercial media pattern of what you're supposed to hear on media outlets. And this has served me well, Sonia, over the years, picking up, you know, dozens, if not hundreds of affiliates, most of which we've lost. But, you know, we were able to get this out and to get this whole feeling of resistance throughout the world and throughout this country merely because we said what was on our minds, and we didn't sit and wait for the mainstream media to put a microphone in our face. We became the media. You have done that. Before we went to break, you were talking about your work as a deconstruction artist of modern-day media. Please continue with that, if you would.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say, you know, I guess I'm a little bit of an enigma on YouTube because a lot of people don't know whether I'm serious or is it all satire, you know. And it's basically more like, I would say, truth and jest. I mean, maybe sometimes the skits are ridiculous, the characters are ridiculous, but there is truth in the message. And I just think humor is really important because once you lose your sense of humor, you get completely demoralized. But as far as the media goes, I studied media going way back to when I was in college and then in university, and then I did more university. So the media and I go way back from an art point of view and from a written point of view, and I study propaganda techniques and things like that. So I just sort of compulsively deconstruct the media, and it just jumps out at me when I see propaganda techniques. So I try to draw people's attention to that and draw to their attention to ways that they could look at the media critically.
You know, I consider the show we do my art. I was a multimedia artist most of my life, and this is kind of where I naturally ended up. And I love interviewing fellow artists who see the opportunity to not just preach to the choir, but to find interesting ways to bring the masses into what we talk about on our show, what we're thinking about, what we're researching. And, you know, I just wish there was more of it, Sonia. Honestly, we can have, 5,000 radio shows that read news reports and read off the Internet, but to have people that do things that are innovative is what's going to take us to the next level. Can you comment on that, please?
Yeah, and actually I do that intentionally. That's why I make what I do. Sometimes I watch other people's videos as what I would consider research, not videos relating to politics or the truth movement or anything like that, just videos, and it gives me a lot of ideas for a video that I could make. And let's say I make a video about a shopping trip, I reach a much wider audience because a lot of times people who are, or it could be a video about what's in my purse or whatever, but people who normally wouldn't have searched, Haiti or conspiracy theory will stumble across this stuff because it's in with the stuff about grocery shopping or it's in with the stuff about makeup. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and again, that's something that everybody can relate to. It doesn't turn people off with the numbing diatribes that we constantly see on the Internet.
Well, yeah, there's some radio show hosts and whatnot that it's like every day you listen to the show and you get the impression the sky's falling, and the end result of that is that you actually get discouraged, you know. But I don't like to look at it that way. I look at it more like the sky's been falling for a really long time, and I don't think there's any reason to panic. Panic doesn't accomplish anything. So, I make videos about whatever's on my mind, and I try to put humor into it. And I think I reach a wider audience that way than if I just went on there and said, oh, they're going to do this to you, they're going to do that to you. I mean, they might do that, but we don't really know how it's going to pan out. And actually, I don't think that, the sky is going to fall in one day at all. I think it's very important for them to keep the matrix going. So they want people to be sort of comfortable. They want to lose their comfort. They want people to lose their comfort so slowly that eventually they don't even know what hit them. Do you know what I mean? I don't think everything.
It sounds like you've been listening to my show for years, and you haven't, and I like that because that's exactly, my listeners are hearing you say that and go, well, Jack always took the outside gambit and said that FEMA wouldn't be kicking down our doors tomorrow. We wouldn't be entering immediate martial law. And how could he do that? That's crazy. Everyone's predicting that, an attack on Iran any second. Why is he predicting there isn't going to be an attack? Because it's easy for me to say things aren't going to happen because they never really do. All of it is incrementalism, and that's why the fight is so important, in my opinion. How did you get into this, Sonia? And talk about women as info warriors, because there doesn't seem to be enough of them.
Yeah, there are a few out there. There's a few people who have YouTube sites. There's one actually. She's called I'm Just a Girl, and she kind of does news commentary. She puts things together, and there's another one called the real Informed Citizen News, and there's a woman doing that. There's a few, but mostly like the main talk show hosts, and they're all men. But it's not to say that women are not also just as concerned and just as involved. And I have quite a few female friends who are, involved. So I just tend to focus on that and give the women a little bit of the time in the spotlight. Not to exclude men. I mean, I have men in my videos too, but, we're women, so we're the truther girls.
And it is, that is something that is sorely missed in the information warehousing movement, the art as information movement, the performance art as activism movement. We cover this. We're one of the few shows, Sonia, that goes and we follow artists, because I believe that there is no real completion to the political revolution unless there is an artistic or cultural revolution. We could look at the 60s for a good example, or the 70s as a good example to that. In fact, every time in our history that any real change has ever happened, it has always come through art, through music, through literature, and a lot of that, if we look at 1984 or Brave New World, these just opened up everyone's mind. But the guy on the soapbox ranting and raving, telling you that the Earth will, World War III will come any day, that has a limited audience. But what you do and what our artists and musicians friends do, we cover all of this on our program, has the potential to reach not only millions but billions of people and change the paradigms of the way people think. We need to support this kind of activism.